All right, Shalom. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. Right here you see on RT News. Hey, basically you got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. You got at least 5 reasons as to why America is going down. You know, or 5, not reasons, but 5 indicators showing you how America is falling. Trump continues trade war with Turkey, which we know what a trade war leads to a world war. NFL players continue protests. Trump lashes out on Twitter, you know, which leads to what? A race war. Trump administration economically pressures enemies and allies. All right, which leads to America's allies turning on America, as it is written in the book of Obadiah, I believe the 1 and 6. California fires double in size, state of emergency declared. You know, so even in America's homeland, you know, it's getting fucked up. White nationalist rally headed to D.C. Amidst all of these, this one actually stood out most to me. So I'm gonna play it, you know, just going more in depth into it.
It's time now for our weekly segment, Race in America. All week, Washington, D.C. has been gearing up for the Unite the Right Rally 2, which will be held in front of the White House this weekend. Jason Kessler, the rally organizer, was looking to hold the rally in Charlottesville, Virginia for the 2nd year in a row. However, after difficulties in court, he withdrew his request and figured the White House would suit the alt-right. I spoke with Eugene Puryear, an activist with the Anti-War Answer Coalition, and I asked him, what message is Kessler sending by choosing the White House as the backdrop for this white supremacist rally? Take a look.
Well, I think the message that what he's at least trying to send is that there's some level of legitimacy to what they're doing, that here in front of the White House is a sign that they're just a part of the American fabric of life like any other political force. And I think it's a soft message that they identify with the Trump administration, which many people may remember at the Unite the Right 1 rally in Charlottesville.
That's wrong. Through the spirit, we see that Trump is talking about make America great again. All right? And that means what? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans going back into slavery, man. All right, and the so-called white man oppressing you, so-called white man being on top, you know. And the Trump administration pushes that, you know, white supremacy.
That was a big subtext leading up, is how many of these people were feeling like the Trump presidency had really energized them to come out and to come forward. So I think this is a continuation of that messaging. And
you see? Well, the Trump administration pushes white supremacy, man. You know? So just Trump being in office, all right, he pushes, we see just by him being in office, you know, the World War, you know, this Third World War, all right, stemming from this trade war, all right, and that's internationally, but even, you know what I'm saying, you know, what's going on here, what's going on at home, so to speak, according to prophecies, you're going to have race wars, you know?
Also really an attempt to mainstream themselves by appearing in an area that appears to be like, oh, just like any other rally happening in America.
All right, it's expected that during the Unite the Rally Rally 2 that we will hear neo-Nazis, we're going to hear KKK members speak. But what message does that send to the average American or the black or the Jew who's been victimized by these hate groups? These people have been killed, they've been lynched or abused by these hate groups. So what message is that sending?
I think it sends a message that we're trying to come back, that they're trying to turn back the clock to an America where Jim Crow, lynchings, the Ku Klux Klan, Nazi sympathies. I mean, remember Henry Ford was one of the biggest supporters the Nazis ever had, that those days are what they want to bring back. And they're trying to clothe it in different ways in the lead up, but when you look, they've got David Duke allegedly as a speaker. They've got a Holocaust denier allegedly as a speaker. And I think they try to clothe themselves in this sort of right-wing Americanism as if they are, not that far away from Paul Ryan or some other mainstream Republican. But I think the real message that they send with their speakers and so on and so forth is that we're trying to turn back the clock. We're trying to turn back the clock to a time where these kind of words, these kind of policies were actually acceptable, maybe in the majority, to a time where at the very least nowadays they want to feel like they can be heard just as well as they could in 1920 when the Klan marched in hundreds of thousands down Pennsylvania Avenue.
Would you say, Eugene, that Americans are fed up with groups like the KKK, groups like the alt-right? Would you say that they're tired of seeing this take place with the many counter demonstrations that are being put together for Sunday? Would you say that that's evidence that Americans are sick and tired of this taking place?
Yes, I think people are fed up. I think on the one hand, you have people who are fed up because they say these groups are terrible, these ideologies are totally discredited. Why are they still rallying forces to their banner? And why is our society still producing people like that? And I think also on the other side, there are a lot of folks who are more on the right wing in the United States who are fed up with people like this because they sort of rip the mask off a lot of policies that may seem to be race neutral, that may seem to not be similar.
Hey, man, and people are fed up, and it's beautiful because it's bringing forth prophecy. It's bringing forth them race wars, man, which we know. All right, with them race wars, once that happens, man, it's once that happens, like when you had the Rodney King beatings, you know what I'm saying, and it brought forth so to speak race wars, man, and then a lot of cities, people were burning down cities, so that brought forth chaos, which after that brings forth martial law, possibly leadership, all right, being implemented, all right, and this place falling, man, so it's beautiful, all right. This is because we understand through the scriptures. Let's see. We understand through the scriptures that when race wars happen, the end is there. The end is here. All right. Matthew 24:6, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. All right. And wars and rumors of wars been going on forever, man, with United States and Russia. All right. But now it's actually coming into fruition. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, and just to add, these things, we see how these things are coming into fruition. All right, as the scriptures say, the least of the flock shall draw them out. So now, before, like I said before, you just had rumors of wars as Russia and America going head to head. All right, but now you got the little nations. All right, Iran and Israel. All right, which is going to draw America over there into the Middle East, which is the Valley of Jehoshaphat, where that World War III is going to pop off. All right. So it says, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All right. So a part of the end time, all right, is nation rising up against nation. Now we know, as far as the nation of you got Israel, Palestine, that's nation against nation. But even in America, you got the nation of Edom, because the Bible speaks of different nations. The nation of Israel, the nation of Edom, all right, which Edom would be the so-called white people, and Israel would be the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay. So that foretells, all right, or that goes to show you what time we in. So we see through just watching the news, man. All right, which in the Spanish news is noticia, So basically it gives you a it tells you, what I'm saying, what time you're living in. The news tells you what time you're living in. This is Well, actually, I'm gonna get that later. I guess Second Ezra chapter Salakia. Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe meaning death, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And Lord willing, man. Hey, something hectic goes down. You know what I'm saying? Something hectic goes down tomorrow, man. I believe it's that unite the right some shit that white supremacist rally is going down tomorrow. So it says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, which the modern day sword is a gun. You know? So that said, this foretells evil, alright, which goes to show you how we are the men of the Lord, because we speak of evil times, bad times, man. Okay? As the prophets of old did. Hey, it's getting worse, man. You know? It says, for there shall be sedition among men, going into how it's going to get, like I said, it's going to get even worse and worse. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So it's going to get bad, man. Then it goes into actually martial law. Because those race riots, what I'm saying, it's going to get so bad in the city that they're going to have to bring the martial law troops in. Let me see. Actually, I might have jumped the gun. It says, okay, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So the average person might just look at this, like it's just another rally, But no, it's not just another rally. All right? Hey, small things turn into big things, man. All right? Which, like I said, this may seem small, but all right, but in the grand scheme of things, according to the scriptures, all right, it foretells the end. Okay? This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25. And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Which this place is known as what? The United States, but this place is really divided, man. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. In which Esau understands that plainly, man. That's why with the so-called blacks and Hispanics, all right, they do a thing called what? Divide and conquer. Because together, we strong, man. But divided, we weak. And that's the same concept of what this America, man. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So how's America gonna come, come against be strong enough to fight another nation when it itself is weak, And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against itself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So this place is falling, man. All right, this place is I'm not even gonna say slowly. It's quickly falling, man. And it's all according to the Most High's plan. Hey, and it's beautiful, man, because you got even tonight is the blowing of the trumpets. All right, which, hey, you can get that actually. I'm gonna actually get that. Amos chapter 3 verse 6. Shall trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? And shall there be evil done in the city, and the Lord have not done it? Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. Hey, so with that, Lord willing, I can edify. Shalom to the elect.